Hello and welcome to another episode of Magic 101. Today we're going to be discussing Kanka, or Kankaho, the fighting technique used by Takemichi, Asuna, and Gato von Vandelberg. Kanka is a pretty easy concept to understand. It's the fusion of magic and ki. Like I said in my magic video, there are two main types of energy in Negima. Ki is physical energy, the internal energy you get from training your body. Magic is spiritual energy. While you do need mental energy to control magic, you don't actually produce it with your body. It's external energy that comes from the environment. These two energies are usually mutually exclusive. Evangeline actually says that without specialized training, they will conflict with each other. Kanka is what you get when you do have that training. The user gathers magic power in their left hand and ki in their right hand. Or as Al says, puts the world in their left hand and themselves in their right hand. Then they bring their hands together and fuse the energies. This will multiply their strength many times over. And while it is extremely potent, it doesn't actually give the user any new abilities. It's just a standard power-up, but a very good one. Remember, ki and magic individually can already increase a person's speed, strength, and durability. Kanka just does it to a much greater extent. We don't know the exact multiplier for Kanka, but it is massive. When he activated it, Takemichi went from being able to knock out ordinary fighters in a single hit to hitting with the force of a cannon. And that's a serious lowball. On Raken's power level chart, he ranked Takemichi at 2000. For comparison, he put a tank at 200. He is 10 times more powerful. Granted, this is just about Takemichi's overall strength, not Kanka specifically, but I imagine a lot of his strength has to come from Kanka. Like Goku, he's super strong, no doubt about it, but that's mostly because his Super Saiyan transformations multiply his power so much. In addition to increasing your physical strength, Kanka also gives resistances to heat, cold, and poison. Just by activating it, Isuna was able to walk around on a snowy mountain without freezing to death, even though she was wearing light summer clothes. But of course, all this comes at the cost of draining your ki and magic at the same time. Because both powers are being used together, it drains your stamina twice as fast. At full power, Asuna could only maintain it for a few minutes. But, just like with the Pactia, you can learn to control your power output and extend the duration. While it does give huge buffs to all your physical abilities, it doesn't seem to do anything for magical ability, despite magical energy being one of its components. Maybe it does increase the power of spells, but we've never seen a mage use it. The only characters that can use Kanka are all martial artists, who can't use magic anyway, so it's impossible to tell. But if it really doesn't increase magic power, then that would explain why no mage ever bothered to try to learn it. It just wouldn't be worth their time. On average, a mage has way more firepower than a martial artist or a swordsman, so it makes more sense to spend their time learning spells than learning to make their bodies stronger, because Kanka is extremely difficult to master. Only 3 characters in the entire manga have done it: Gato, Takemichi, and Asuna. Takemichi spent years in Eva's Resort learning it. And for those of you who don't remember how Eva's Resort works, it compresses time. For every hour that passes outside, a whole day passes inside the resort. Meaning he was probably training for decades trying to master this. But Asuna is a special case though. She was able to use Kanka easily, even as a little kid. According to her, the key to mastering Kanka is to turn yourself into nothingness. And the reason she was able to do it so easily was because she apparently never had anything in her to begin with. If you interpret becoming nothingness as clearing your mind of all distractions, then it makes sense that Asuna was able to do it so easily, because she was so emotionally neglected as a child. She could barely express herself at all before meeting Nagi and his group, so she really didn't have any wants or desires to distract her. But for the vast majority of people, this obviously isn't the case. And that's assuming that this interpretation is correct, because Asuna can still do it in the present, where she is very emotional and extroverted. So maybe there's another trick to it. Or maybe her body just remembers how to do it instinctively. Or it could just be because she's good at blanking out and not really thinking about things. Either way, it's an extremely difficult technique to master. Even Evangeline acknowledges its power, but instead of trying to learn it herself, she just invents her own version, called the Magia Erebia. Magia Erebia isn't fundamentally similar to Kanka, other than the fact that it involves fusing with external energy. It doesn't incorporate ki, instead it uses dark magic, but both accomplish the same goal of drastically increasing a person's physical strength. Magia Erebia has a whole bunch of additional perks, but also a lot of negative side effects too. So Kanka is basically just a more stable, safer version of Magia Erebia. But that's about all there is to Kanka. Like I said, it isn't super complicated. If you enjoyed this video, a great way to let me know that would be to hit that like button right under it. If you want to see more, then make sure you subscribe and click that little bell to be notified as soon as I upload. That's all I got for you today. You guys keep being awesome, and I'll see you all next time.